Disponible depuis quelques jours, Heart of the Swarm, la seconde extension de StarCraft 2, propose aux joueurs de suivre Sarah Kerrigan, une Terrane tourmentée par son passé qui s'inscrira dans un processus de vengeance. Une suite à Wings of Liberty qui se déroule sur une vingtaine de missions et qui apporte évidemment quelques nouveautés au sein du game system, comme nous l'explique David Sum, game designer sur cette campagne.
The way we design the campaign is we want you to feel like Zerg, and we want you to follow Kerrigan's story. So a lot of the designs that we do with the systems, Terran is very much about buying upgrades and this band of outlaws struggling to get some money and buying upgrades. But the Zerg, we don't want that. You don't want it to feel like that, right? So we want to have these powerful creatures that evolve and mutate, and they're constantly changing. So you're not buying an upgrade and then moving forward and using that upgrade forever. So Zerg can switch around, they can switch out different mutations and tinker with their mutations in DNA. And you can also go out and collect new DNA from vast areas of the galaxy. Another thing is that we want the story to center around Kerrigan, so we want that to reflect in the gameplay. So you get to use her she's very powerful. We don't want it to be like in Brood War, where you get to use missions where you get to use Raynor, and you get to use his Vulture, and maybe you bring him with the army and you're attacking, and then he dies, and then the mission immediately fails. So that was a big problem that we thought we didn't want in our game. So in Heart of the Swarm, you're free to use Kerrigan, and if she dies, there's ways to bring her back. So you're never afraid to bring her, and you definitely want to bring her because she has these amazing powers that totally change the way you play.
Cette nouvelle extension propose également un mode entraînement qui ne s'inscrit pas exactement dans le cadre d'un tutoriel classique où on vous apprend à cliquer pour déplacer une unité, mais qui vise principalement à permettre aux confirmés d'affiner leur technique et aux néophytes de les préparer au challenge multijoueur.
We want to appeal to all varieties of players, of what their interests are, what their skill levels are. So we felt like there were a couple gaps in Wings of Liberty. So one of the new modes, Training Mode, kind of helps players who maybe have some campaign experience or maybe have never played StarCraft before but are interested in multiplayer. It gives them a chance to kind of get the feeling of what a multiplayer game is. So it's not a tutorial, it's not going to tell you how to select units or how to move the camera, nothing like that. It also does not do micro tutorials like how to use force fields, because we have the challenge modes and StarCraft Master and stuff like that for that. So what Training Mode is, it uses objectives and kind of in real time gives you suggestions on what you need to build. So maybe you need more barracks, or maybe you need to scout. It will remind you if you're about to get supply blocked. So it kind of gives you a new feeling for how fast-paced the multiplayer is, but it gives it to you in a safe environment where you get to practice versus the AI. You can adjust the speed, and hopefully it bridges that gap, and it still allows even players of higher skill, maybe Platinum or Diamond, which is where I am. I still find it useful because sometimes I get supply blocked, or even when I was working on this map, it definitely helped me to remember to get upgrades and stuff, because that's something that I would forget.
Parmi les nouveautés, on relève ces affrontements épiques qui se rapprocheraient presque d'un combat de boss tactique dans WoW, à l'image du combat contre l'Archange par exemple, mais aussi ce principe de choix au cœur des cutscenes.
We try to keep the missions very interesting and give the players a lot of choice. There's lots of bonus objectives, and there's sometimes special mechanics that the player can choose to use. So for example, you come to a console station and you can decide, do I want to release these caged Zerglings to attack the Terrans? And while they're distracted, I can go in and wipe them all out. Another option could be I release gas and it kills all the biological units, and then you can just clean up the mech. So we try to present the player with lots of different options to complete their mission objectives. You can use different types of units, and depending on how you've mutated and evolved, you could play very differently.
Pour le lancement du jeu, Blizzard avait créé un événement mondial sur 24 heures, prenant place en Amérique, Corée, Australie et en France pour l'Europe. C'était au Palais des Congrès de Versailles et la foule a pu applaudir des commentateurs de parties de renommée mondiale, mais aussi des joueurs pros comme Stefano, Grubby, Lucifron et Whitera. L'occasion pour nous de constater la profondeur des différences qu'apporte ce multijoueur redesigné qui rend les batailles beaucoup plus incertaines.
So last night at the Versailles launch event, we got to see a preview of how the pros would use them. especially that first set with Grubby versus Stefano. We saw how Grubby was able to be very more aggressive with Protoss than Protoss normally get to do. One of the big complaints was Protoss would either, when they went out to attack, they would either win right away or they would lose, and it was a big gamble. So now with the Mothership Core and Recall, like, you can be a lot more aggressive and pull back when you need to. So we saw the game evolve, and every time the game took a really big turn when they started using the new Heart of the Swarm units, right? So Grubby was using Oracles, and he was gaining vision for his Tempests, and Stefano looked like he was about to get defeated. But Stefano started using Vipers, pulling in the Colossus that changed the game again completely. Grubby had to change his tactics, and then Stefano made that switch to Swarm Host and like totally brought him back. So it was back and forth. So we're really excited about like the ways the pros and the community will come up with new strategies and just, you know, evolve the gameplay, and we'll see kind of exciting things come out of the community.
On attend maintenant de voir comment la communauté va accueillir et s'approprier cette nouvelle extension, et on vous invite évidemment à suivre la critique de Heart of the Swarm diffusée incessamment sous peu dans 100%.